Hi P&Gs, we just thought we'd give you an update on where we are with COVID and what we're allowed and not allowed to do now, and also with our thinking as we lead into the autumn and service times, etc. Obviously, most of the restrictions here in Edinburgh and Scotland have disappeared this week. We are still required, however, to wear masks in public places, and that includes church buildings. So if you come on a Sunday, we will still require you to wear masks while you're inside the building. We're not required to, but we are advised to still keep a note of people's contact details. So we will be asking you to either use the QR codes in the foyer or on the screens, or to leave us your details if you haven't got a phone that can do that. Our children's work is beginning this Sunday at 10 o'clock, and please do bring children from 0 through to the ages of 11 to our children's work. Just a reminder, it may take a bit of time to register them, so just be prepared for that. Our youth work from S1 to S3 will also be taking place during the 10 o'clock service, and then S4 to S6, they're going to be meeting from 5:30 before the 7 o'clock service. So that's just some updates as to where we are with COVID. And it does seem now a long time since we've been doing these updates and indeed our online services. We do want to thank you though for feedback on the experimental times of our services during July and August. It's been really helpful to hear what does and doesn't work for people. And given the feedback we've received, we have now decided to continue the current pattern of 10 a.m, 12 o'clock midday for communion and a 7 o'clock service. It was an overwhelming majority of people who filled in the questionnaire who felt that moving the first service of the Sunday to 10 o'clock makes sense for most parents and younger children. Whilst not unanimous, most parents feel it is a much better time and have welcomed the change. Most respondents to the questionnaire also recognise the improvements that will enable things to happen much more smoothly for our musicians and our audiovisual teams. We do want to recognise that this is a big change for those who have been used to attending the 9 o'clock service, albeit though we haven't had a 9 o'clock service for about 17 months. But many people commented favourably on the services that they had attended during July and August at midday. The music, the liturgy and the sense of God's presence. We've had a few questions as to how this service might grow. Well, my hope is that in due course and over time, the 12 o'clock service will have its own children's work and youth work, in addition to the groups at 10 a.m. The music will continue to be diverse. It might be a small group of musicians who stay on from our 10 o'clock service. It might be somebody that's playing the organ, or it might be occasionally maybe a string quartet or string trio. We genuinely feel that this service will grow in numbers and give us an opportunity together to enable more people to use the liturgy, to think about communion, and to encounter Jesus perhaps for the first time or in a deeper way. We'll also look at having monthly lunches together when restrictions ease and a rhythm is established for people. We recognise that this is a change, but think that having services at 10 a.m, 12 o'clock midday, and then 7 o'clock will provide more opportunities for inviting friends, inviting work colleagues and others to come to church with us. We just discuss it at a vestry prayer meeting, and we remembered a phrase that we looked at during the first lockdown. There were various papers written about the fact that we were entering what someone called and described as an ice age, and a contrast between a blizzard and a winter and an ice age. And this phrase really sort of stuck out for us. We're here to protect the community, but not preserve an institution. And this really is an opportunity as we start to gather again physically here in the building, to continue to show the love of Jesus to those around us through what we say and do. And also, and perhaps as importantly, how we act towards each other. It is a time of change in our society which can be unsettling. People are moving jobs, and we recognise that some people are also moving churches. Some organisations, some companies, many shops and firms and churches sadly will not come back from the last 17 or 18 months. And that also applies to individual people as well. So let's pray together that God will continue to use us individually and corporately to demonstrate God's love, kindness and compassion. So from September, our pattern of meeting physically on Sunday will be 10 a.m, 12 o'clock midday and 7 p.m. We will be stopping our current online service for a couple of weeks towards the end of August, before then beginning our new online congregation in September. And on your behalf, I want to say thank you to Jamie, who's even now behind the camera recording this, and Mark, and so many others who have helped us worship online over the past 17 months. It has been a very steep learning curve, as our bloopers reels can testify. But we've seen over 60 people become Christians through Alpha Online over the last year and a half, as well as so many encouragements from Christians around the world. Not just P&G's members who were part of the church before, but Christians from places like France, Germany, different parts of Africa, the Far East, Canada and the US, as well as Christians here in the UK, who've expressed so much appreciation for the worship and teaching that we've been able to deliver over the past year and a half. So for now, after this Sunday, it's goodbye in its current form to P&G's online. But please look out for a new congregational online plant that will be beginning in September. We look forward to welcoming those of you who live here in Edinburgh to our 3 services back in the building, with no social distancing but still wearing masks. We can sing, and it's been so powerful and moving over the last couple of weeks to hear the congregation sing again after a year and a half away. We will be keeping the balconies as spaces for people who would prefer to keep some more space and distance between them and other people, because we recognise that even over the next few weeks and months, it's still an anxious time for some and people want to be cautious. So we hope that it's helpful to you to be updated with where we are, and we hope that together we can demonstrate God's love to people around us. Thank you.